When I was about late elementary, maybe early middle school age, my family in the Advent season would get together and read this book together called The Christmas Mystery. Basically, this book is the story of a magic Advent calendar that tells the story, which it turns out in the book is real, of a young girl who found this way to end up traveling backwards through time. And as she goes on this journey, she meets all these different people. And as they travel backwards in time, it turns out that all of these people, including her, are there to meet the baby Jesus at his birth. And there's a phrase that's in almost every chapter that really helps you make this journey along with this little girl. And the phrase is that whenever something particularly spiritual or powerful happens, that this girl, we are told, ponders these things in her heart. The power of this phrase is it comes from Scripture itself, from Luke's gospel specifically. We see this phrase with Mary. We see it with her 2 times. One we've already heard during this Christmas season at the very beginning. It's at the time of Jesus's birth. It's when the shepherds are coming and give their tidings from the angel to all who can hear as they witness Jesus's birth. It's then we're told that Mary ponders these things in her heart. The other time that we hear this phrase is in the gospel we read just now. It's when Mary and Joseph have been worried about Jesus, about 12-year-old Jesus, as they've been going to Jerusalem for the Passover. They find Jesus lost, and like any parent, are worried and scared and afraid. But Jesus just says to them, "Why didn't you know to look here? Didn't you realize I would be in my Father's house?" And we're told once again at this moment that Mary ponders these things, that she treasures these things in her heart. That word ponder means to take in. It means to observe. To do that, to observe, to take in what's going on, to ponder, means we have to be open to what is going on around us. We have to be open to use this pondering as a tool, to hear what it is that God is trying to say to us in our lives. The Christmas Mystery was a book that first helped me reflect on this idea of what it means to ponder, what it means to be open to listening to what it is that God is trying to say to us, what it is that God is showing to us. And the Christmas Mystery takes that cue in helping us to ponder from Mary herself, from what we see of Mary in the Gospel according to Luke. That story, the Christmas Mystery, basically took what Mary did and put it in a way we can all understand, we can relate to, that we could hear. It passed on in that book that message from Mary, message of connecting more fully with God. My hope for all of us is that we not only will follow Mary's example and ponder those mysterious things that God is presenting to us in our hearts, but that we in turn will be an example of that pondering to help so many more to do the same, to help so many more be open to hearing what it is that God has to say to us all.